Have you ever wondered what it's like to visit a coffee farm? Sure, maybe some of your favorite coffees come from Colombia or Ethiopia, but shaking hands with the people who produce some of the highest quality coffees in the world is a whole other thing. Join us as we embark on the most pivotal trip of our coffee careers to one of our favorite coffee producing countries, Colombia. We went into this trip with open hands and left with relationships that will likely alter the course of our company for years to come. This was not just another sourcing trip. It was about understanding the obsessive care that goes into every step before our beans even reach the roastery. We learned that when you know the producers who grow your coffee, when you've walked their land and seen their dedication firsthand, it changes everything about how you approach roasting. The relationships we built, the adventures we had, and the possibilities that were unlocked are sure to impact how we source, roast, and serve coffee for years to come. Come along as we share the stories, the people, and the incredible coffees that made this trip unforgettable.
Salud!
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 It's early, and I'm on my way to the airport. I'm gonna pick up the boys first, Ethan and Sam. Then Ross is gonna meet us down there. We're going to Colombia. We're stoked. Yeah, so come along on this tropical journey as we visit Origin for the first time here at Valor. Let's go. Skirt.
Oh, crap.
Colombia.
It's for him.
Just me and my guys. All right, jump to airport. How do you feel about ditching Sam?
It happens, man. But if he makes it on the trip, he makes it on the trip.
I feel that as a TSA pre-card holder,
Proud member.
it's not even to skip the line. It's to not take belt, shoes, and jacket and hat off.
Specifically hat.
Yeah, it's like I can't let people know what's under there.
Under the hood.
Ross is on a separate journey. He gigged last night. Played a gig.
He's gigging.
And he is in the checkpoint now. And Sam is too, but just not together.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on him. Just wait. Oh, here's Ross now, guys.
Hey, bro. What's up, man? Nice. If you walk towards the terminal, you'll see me and Ethan. All right, bye. Oh, there's Sam.
Sam.
Oh, bro.
What's up, dude?
Dude.
Is that everything?
I was worried I wasn't gonna make it. Maybe this is too soon, but I was half expecting to see Ross here before me.
Ross.
He's like, dude. Ross.
Brother in arms. Dude, you
For the vlog, bro.
Didn't make it a little bit. Like, it's pretty close.
Dude, did she let you skip the line?
She said, oh, you're the tall, handsome guy.
Yeah, we let her know you're coming. I said, hey, after me goes someone ahead of me, before me, that's more tall and more handsome. So keep your eye out.
He said he looks like me, but more tall and more handsome.
And she was like, oh no.
Bro, what are you trying to get out of this trip?
Probably a t-shirt. Like I survived going to Colombia. No, Riley. All right. This is gonna be hard because we've never done this before, you know, and people do this in our industry a lot. And so I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to just see things with my eyes and my body, be in a place where coffee's grown. Excited to say thank you and make some more relationships with farmers, producers, the community at large that grows coffee. What are you most excited? What are you looking forward to? What are you excited about?
Dude, thank you for asking. I don't have an agenda. I think, unlike you guys, you know, with your agendas.
I think what you mean is ulterior motive.
This is one of those things that it's like we feel we're doing it so late in the game. It feels like it's been too long that we haven't done this. I feel the same way about this that I did Expo last year, which is like, since it's our first time, we're just there to learn.
Yeah.
We're there to learn what's up. Obviously, I've tasted the coffees of the producers we're meeting and been blown away. So to talk with them and understand what they're doing that is incredible and how they're doing it to produce such a good product, and to just learn from them about things that I don't have any clue about. Yeah, let's ride. Sam.
I'm like already about to fall asleep.
Miami. We're in Miami, baby. How would you rate Flight 1?
7 out of 10. Wish I could have got some shut eye. Didn't.
No seat back screens.
No seat back screens. It was very short though.
In that leg room, though.
Actually, the legroom was a 10. Most legroom I've ever had. Nobody's ever had any more legroom. I've never seen anything like it.
In the history of all time, maybe ever. Sam, you sleep, little guy?
Oh yeah, I slept, but not well, because I couldn't lean my seat back. But other than that, it was awesome. I'm just happy to be in Miami, you know, my city.
Once again, please have your passport open on the photo page so we can expedite the boarding. Por favor, tener...
No.
So little did these schlubs know, their bags were not on the flight. Their bags would be left in the Miami airport. But more on that later.
Colombia. One Colombia. We made it. We are down 3 bags that are lost in Miami. However, we are at the Click Clack Hotel, and it is electric.
Staring at the blank page before you.
And the rest is still unwritten. When I say we had no idea what would lie before us on this trip, I truly mean we had no idea. We knew generally the places that we were going to go. We knew the term fermentation boot camp, but had absolutely no idea what that would entail and the impact that it would have on our business going forward.
What's up?
It's day one. We're in Colombia, Medellin, and we had an awesome night.
Now in Espanol.
Okay, todo bien. Puedo tomar un café. We did go to an amazing. Did we record or talk about? We went to an awesome coffee shop already.
We're at a coffee shop.
We went to it's all Colombian coffee called Pergamino, and we have been waiting for bags. Someone should go up there.
Live in color.
Someone go receive them. You want to go get them?
We're gonna go get the bags.
They're gonna get the bags. But yeah, it was awesome to go to have a specialty coffee experience at Origin, which is always so cool. Yeah, Medellin, super cool city, wonderful people. Yeah, amazing hospitality, inspiring, some would say. We love the city. We're excited to go to the country though. Ross and I worked out this morning. Anytime we travel, it's like the one time I go to a gym and work out. So I really hope we travel more so I can work out more. Today we're gonna go meet up with the guy who brought us out, Lucas from Unblended. So I think we're gonna go to their office today in the city and cup some coffees. I'm not sure what we're gonna be cupping. It'll be super interesting. I don't know if it's just stuff they already have in, and then we're here during like the fly crop, which is like their second harvest season. And so hopefully we're gonna be able to go to some farms this week and taste some stuff that they got in that fresh Harvey. We're going Harvey. We're pushing the Harvey button. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Ethan. Thanks for tuning in. We're here at La Fabrecia. Looks like they have a really cool shared space. Yeah, and we're at our first coffee farm. After 2 years of producing, we can get 1 cup of coffee from this. Yeah, we're just hanging out, Medellin. We're about to taste a bunch of coffees. I wonder how many like clips we can do of
yeah, we're about to taste some coffee. Yeah, we're about to go to a cupping. We're gonna taste some more coffee. The fermentation boot camp is kind of like a summit. So I think there's gonna be like 45 different Colombian farmers getting together, playing around with fermentation, doing classes, and we get to kind of be there, and us and some other roasters get to share like our experience of building out a coffee menu, what we're looking for in a coffees to sell in the States, and how that can help inform what the farmers and producers are gonna be growing at their farms. It's gonna be lit, I guess.
Smile for the camera, Lucas.
Yeah, I need a wave, Lucas.
This is Lucas Quadros, truly one of the most impressive humans I have ever had the pleasure of spending time with. Jacked, handsome, Clemson grad, Colombian native. He really became our gateway to this whole trip.
Hit the brake button.
Hit the brake button.
Want to watch me hit the brake button?
Did you get that can still going on?
It still tastes like it. But remember.
After we cupped the coffees at the Unblended headquarters, Lucas wanted to show us around the area of the headquarters, and he took us to this really cool establishment that had a streetwear brand, had a podcast studio, a restaurant, and once we ate lunch with all of the people that we would get to know on the rest of the trip, we loaded up the trucks and began the multi-hour long drive to Hardin.
Ethan, any thoughts at this point or feelings?
Epico, just learned a new word for epic. You can keep up. Ciao.
Hello.
Can I hop on with you guys? Chris?
After grabbing some very crucial supplies,
All right, show them breakfast and then lunch.
we had one of the most impactful conversations of our careers with Lucas in the truck on the way to Hardin. We started to understand really what Unblended's business model is all about, and really what their niche is as a coffee importer, but not just an importer, a liaison between us as the roaster and the producers in the country. And at this point, we started just asking the most rudimentary, basic questions about coffee producing.
Day after PP?
All right, so this is Cabresto coffee. When we first got to what we thought was Hardin, but turns out was actually Andes, we pulled over at this little coffee shop called Cabresto. And honestly, we didn't really know why we were stopping. It just looked like we were stopping for a quick coffee on our journey. But man, this place ended up being one of the biggest parts of the whole trip. Cabresto became like the meeting spot. All the producers were going to visit. This is where they came to meet us. It was kind of the launch pad for everything that followed. Farmers and producers from all over the region showed up there. And they weren't just there to say, hey, they were excited to talk fermentation, processing, all kinds of stuff. We could tell that they were serious about what they do and super passionate. The only problem was we didn't really speak any Spanish, like at all. That was honestly the biggest struggle of the trip at this point, just not being able to connect the way we wanted to. There were so many people we were dying to talk to. We had a million questions, but our Spanish was really rough. And we kept saying it when we get home, we are downloading Duolingo immediately, because we could feel how much potential there was to go deeper if we could actually have real conversations. And not being able to ask those questions or answer their questions that they might have was frustrating. We didn't want to just nod and smile. We wanted to actually connect. We did what we could. We shared beers. We had a few laughs, even if we couldn't always share the words. And honestly, that helped a lot. But also made it clear we've got to work on that Spanish aspect if we want to keep doing trips like this the right way. All right, hold on. Pause right here. This is Sebastian Ramirez. You may have heard of him if you're really into coffee. He's one of the most well-known coffee producers in the world right now. He works closely with Unblended and is one of the leading voices in experimental processing, especially co-ferments. He's doing some wild, cutting-edge stuff with fermentation, and it's getting attention all over the industry. We've actually brought in some of his coffee before. We've seen the labels, we've seen his name on our boxes in the warehouse, but this was our first time meeting him in person. And right here is when we started to realize these producers are no joke. They're kind of G's. They're not just growing great coffee, they're shaping the future of it. They're mentors, leaders, innovators. Unblended has a really cool mission too. They're trying to make coffee farming an exciting, viable career path for the next generation in Colombia. Because in Colombia, the average age of a coffee farmer is going up and up, and young people aren't exactly lining up to take their place. Sebastian's helping change that. He's showing the younger generation that coffee farming can be creative, innovative, and even cool. Definitely one of the most impressive people we met on the trip. And here's Andres Cardona. Like Sebastian, we've brought in a few of his coffees over the years, and they've always been a hit. His coffees usually lean toward the premium side. Lots of experimentation, both in processing and in the varietals he works with. Very unique, very intentional. And beyond the coffee, one of the coolest parts of meeting Andres was seeing his bigger picture. He brought his whole family along for the trip. And through that, we got to see firsthand how the growing specialty coffee world is impacting his life. It made everything feel more personal. Because just like we're in coffee to support our families back home, buying Andres' coffee helps him do the same thing. And that connection, that mutual why, really stuck with us.
What'd you say to me?
I said, how you feeling, man?
I feel good. I can't speak Spanish, but I feel good. There's a lot of epic people I want to talk to in Espanol.
That would bum you out so much. And I love that.
Todo bien.
Good morning from Hardin. Day one here at the Airbnb after a wonderful night last night where we were driving through the city, got pulled over by the police. They made us get out of the car, put our hands on the vehicle at gunpoint. It was chill though. It was chill. He had kind eyes. That's what Ethan said, but was definitely trying to intimidate us. That's okay though. This place is absolutely beautiful. We're gonna begin our fermentation boot camp at Carolina's farm, which is I think about 30 minutes away from here. But this is beautiful. Just take a look. Take a look at this. Yesterday afternoon was just one of the coolest moments of the trip so far, where we got to have this pretty long conversation through an interpreter, one of the guys that owns the coffee shop we were at. We were talking about cupping and when you cup as a producer or as a green buyer, what do you look for? They were talking about how they look for defects, and they had these cups on the table. One of them was slightly defective, one of them was more defective, and one of the guys who was like the lead cupper there gave feedback in real time to one of the producers who was there, which was just so cool because the producer was so hungry to learn and very nimble, eager, which was amazing. And then we cracked open some brews, hung out some more. It was such a great time. Ready for today. Let's get it. Time for some breakfast.
Buenos dias. 30 eggs, baby.
30 eggs, baby. Sam, favorite moment of yesterday? Besides getting patted down by the policia.
Yeah, that was crazy. Dude, favorite moment was probably finally meeting up with Lucas. Just getting to meet everyone and kind of see his operation and his like HQ. Like first time we've come to his neck of the woods and seen his operation. So it was like, I was looking forward to that moment the whole day. And then when it finally happened, it was awesome. Everyone was really nice. And then we got to cup some great coffees. So
Which one's your favorite?
of the washed churros, the Carbon Montoya washed churro was great. I think, was it the Sebastian Ramirez white honey Mandarin co-ferment?
Yeah, that one
It
was
was like at
crazy.
the head of the table. That one was crazy.
Favorite part of yesterday?
Getting to know everyone in the best capacity I know how. And then being like, I'm gonna download Duolingo whenever I get home and try to get better at this for the next trip. Because like Ethan was saying, I have so much I want to say, so many compliments I want to give, and our bilingual friends are really awesome at helping us with that. But it's just a tool. I want my tool belt. That would make the time that much more awesome. That's all. Buenos dias.
Bienvenidos a Hardin.
Going to the farm. Going to the farm.
We started the day of fermentation boot camp back at Cabresto,
What are we doing? Coffee. Getting coffee. Gonna drink it.
which really was the hub of the whole trip. When we thought about going to origin countries, coffee growing countries, we always thought that the coffee there, the actual brewed coffee there, wouldn't be too good because that's just what we heard. But honestly, every bit of coffee we had in Colombia was incredible. And the coolest thing was that it was all from Colombia, which was a really big highlight on all the different processes and varietals involved in this coffee growing country.
That's our ride.
So Lucas gathered all of the producers and importers and roasters around to get us ready for the day. We hopped on these Jeeps, which honestly was one of the coolest experiences of my life, riding through the city and the mountaintops on top of this Jeep. Got some really good footage. Check it out. And this is Carolina Ramirez. She owns the farm we're standing on here, a place that's been in her family for generations. It was a pretty amazing feeling to be welcomed on to land that had that kind of history. You could tell how much pride she has in her farm, the way they process coffee, and the legacy that she's continuing. Her farm was actually the site of the fermentation boot camp we were a part of that day. And what really blew us away was that she opened up her entire operation, her farm, her land, for a bunch of friends and a bunch of strangers to come in and experiment with different fermentation techniques. That kind of openness and trust is pretty rare, it seemed. She wasn't just showing off her work, she was inviting others to build on it, test ideas, and learn together. On top of that, she has this amazing collaborative spirit about her. She's not only invested in her own success and her family's success, but she's also cheering on and working with other producers in the region. And she's doing a ton to educate young people, up and coming farmers, helping them see that coffee farming can be innovative, exciting, and a real career path. Carolina isn't just growing great coffee, she's growing a community and shaping the future of what coffee can be in Colombia. Okay, so this is where things got real. We broke up into 4 groups, and each group basically entered what they were calling Fermentation Boot Camp. And this was really the crux of the trip, one of the main reasons that we came down. Every group was paired with a mentor, someone who's an expert in experimental coffee processing. And we all started with the same exact coffee cherries, same varietal, same picking day, same everything. And the challenge was take this coffee and figure out a unique way to process it, a way that would stand out, something you could actually bring to market and sell and scale. That meant everything was on the table: fermentation length, how it was processed, washed, dried, all of it. Some groups did wild stuff like fermenting with lime leaves. Others soaked the cherries in salt water to help break down the sugars. Some teams hand sorted their cherries for better uniformity. Others looked for ways to make the process faster and more efficient. We even had to name our coffees like we were actually bringing a product to market. It wasn't just an experiment, it was a full-on crash course in the kind of thinking producers have to do every day. And it gave us a whole new appreciation for just how much intention and effort goes into every single bag we source. One of the coolest parts of the whole thing was seeing how passionate the mentors were and how that passion just kind of spread to all the other producers that were there. And they weren't just lectures or demos that were happening. They were real conversations, real deep back and forth exchanges about processing techniques, talking about the most minute details involved in processing coffee. For example, Andres, who I introduced to you before, was in Ethan's group, and he just poured out knowledge like nonstop, talking through all these wild fermentation ideas, different variables, ways to push things further. And you could see the producers in that group just soaking it all up. That's what made this boot camp so powerful. It wasn't just about 4 groups trying out fun experiments. It was about transferring knowledge and bringing a real coffee to market. The goal was that one of the coffees from the 4 groups created during this boot camp would actually get picked and taken to market, like actually produced at scale and sold through Unblended. It brought this awesome energy to the whole experience, knowing that the work we were doing could go beyond this trip and become something that people could actually drink.
Bro, what the flip are you doing?
Gringo limonado. Just kidding. We're doing a simple syrup with panela, like a really popular raw sugar, and we're gonna do a semi-wash honey process.
So we're gonna measure the bricks of this.
Seems like why would he be selling all this stuff?
Boom, boom, boom. It's so good.
I know what you were dealing with.
Hola.
Ross, you look so BA right now.
Thanks, bro. I was just thinking about that.
How BA you look.
The next day after fermentation boot camp, we made our way back to Cabresto. This was kind of the closing moment for the part of the trip that included all the producers and the farmers. And honestly, it ended on a really big high note. We got to do what was easily one of the coolest cuppings of my life. All the producers we'd spent the past couple days with, building relationships with as best as we could through the language barrier, they brought their coffees to the table from their family farms. And we got to taste them with them right there. And I know it sounds cliche, but I swear every coffee tasted better because of the people behind it. When you know the hands that grew, harvested, and processed that coffee, it's just different. One of the coolest parts of this day was that Lucas helped facilitate a conversation between us and the producers. And they actually wanted to hear from us what it's like to sell their coffee in the markets that we're in as roasters and cafe owners. What our guests want, what our customers want, and what challenges we face. And we got this amazing opportunity to share our side of the coffee industry with them. And they were just so open, so eager to listen, and so humble. We talked a lot about the American palate, what kinds of coffees our guests tend to gravitate toward, and what our wholesale partners look for in their cafes. We also talked about price and how the cost of coffee is rising, how that's hard for roasters and shops sometimes, but how it's also a really good thing for their businesses. There was such a mutual respect in the room. It was just one of those moments where you're like, this is what coffee should be about. Tasting these coffees right in front of the people who made them in their home country is something that I will absolutely never forget.
What's the statistics that you have to take on it? It helps us understand, like he was saying, it helps the sustainability. So, yeah, we've been working with Unblended for a while.
Buenas.
Buenas tardes.
Riley, where are we going?
We are heading to a gentleman who we met yesterday's farm in Santiago to see what he's got going on and see if there's some synergy there as we look to fill some spots on our coffee menu. I'm excited. These things, it's really great to get out ahead of them. You know, we might talk now and not actually have a coffee on our menu until the end of the year, but that's not that long from now. And so the conversations we can have now about what we're looking for, we will quite literally instantly see a partnership blossom, like coffee itself, right? Coffee's a fruit.
And we didn't expect to make this kind of connection, right?
And we didn't expect to even make this kind of connection.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So
Hey, let me put my
Let's
bag
go.
there in case it
What is he, a weatherman?
What do weathermen know anyway? They're wrong. Like,
Yeah,
most of the
dude.
time.
Plus, if he was a weatherman, we wouldn't even trust
What do
him.
you know? Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was
Just
a
keep
weatherman.
asking dumb questions, buddy.
why would a weatherman be driving us to a coffee farm?
Estás weatherman?
Adios, Cabresto.
Adios, Cabresto.
Shout out to specialty coffee in the origin country. We've only had amazing coffee.
Yeah, true.
All grown in Colombia. Kind of a crazy thing that I don't think any of us knew is that it's illegal to have other origins in Colombia.
I knew that because I went to Puerto Rico on my honeymoon, and that's how it was there.
Green coffee.
Green coffee.
See?
Sí se puede.
Well, that's roasted, bro.
Adios.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Vamos a Finca de Santiago. What did we just do?
We just cupped, I think it was 14 coffees from many producers here in Colombia that work with Unblended. Everything from washed to honey to standard old naturals to crazy IPA co-ferment. One was called Brownie. So kind of just the full range of processing methods. We got to cup it all and give feedback to the producers about our thoughts on the coffee, but also like how it would fit on our menu and who would be buying it, how we'd be selling it, blah, 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 blah. Like, would this go on espresso? Would this go on drip? Would this just be like a more premium retail box offering? It was honestly invigorating.
Did anybody say anything that you remember and stuck with you?
Shout out Lucas for being the goat in translating.
Yeah.
And he would just, I could see him like making bullet points in his head
Oh yeah, he's kind of smart.
Honestly, yeah.
as we would ramble on and on and on, and he'd be like,
We'd be like, so basically,
Hey!
stay smooth.
stay smooth, baby.
Épico.
Y smooth. Siempre smooth y épico.
It's nice to make friends on the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made friends.
Oh yeah.
So-
Anyway, Ethan was just saying like it was really heartwarming to meet the people who, it's like they got wives, they got kids, they are just doing what they can. They're trying their best and working hard with passion, and it's just cool to be able to meet them and like start having a direct line of communication for like cooperation between Valor and the actual producers of the coffee.
Crazy thing that I heard was one of the producers was talking about how before the C market increased, he was having trouble paying off debt and staying afloat financially. But when the C market increased, he actually was able to have a viable operation financially for his family. And so while we're on our side of it, just kind of feeling sorry for ourselves that the C market went up and we have to raise our prices, really it was never sustainable in the first place.
Wow.
So that was really powerful for me.
And what John, that producer, how he got to that topic was he was like asking what our experience has been with the C market going up, because for him it was so much better, you know. And what we got to, and we talked about it on our podcast with that Riley did with Ricardo and Lucas, was this concept of playing the infinite game, you know. And the only way that we can win together is by communication. And that sounds so elementary, it sounds so simple, but I think for roasters, the main line of communication was the C market, not a farmer communicating their profitability of their business, you know, in their personal context. Building these relationships really allows us to understand, you know, as the C market experiences more and more volatility, what is sustainable and beneficial for producers to keep growing coffee, and then for younger farmers to want to continue to like pursue this trade, because we need coffee, and they need someone to buy the coffee. So if we're just concerned with ourselves and not seeing it as like an honorable business, then it kind of doesn't really work. Why not?
He was barking at us as soon as we were gone. He like looked at us and he's like, "Did I do a good job? Did I scare him off?"
Yeah, Santiago's farm that we're going to right now, it's simply a matter of like building a relationship like we would with anyone that we do business with. It's just international, and we get to kind of communicate on how we can both win together. I'm excited to do that today.
Hola, Santi. Buenas.
Santi.
Hey!
Come on.
Yeah, I got room over here too.
And this is Santi, as we said. Santi has 2 farms that were owned by his father. And once his father passed away, he left the banking industry to take over those farms and get into coffee. We met Santi at the Fermentation boot camp, but had no idea who he was or what his backstory was. Didn't have any idea what our relationship could possibly become. And then one night when we were there, we were just standing in the street, drinking beers in front of Cabresto, and Lucas introduced us. We were talking to Lucas about how all these exciting experimental processes were cool, and we definitely have a place for those on our menu, but really we want to have a coffee that's a little bit lower of a price point that we can move a lot of and have a very direct, impactful relationship with a producer. And so he introduced us to Santi right then and there in the street. The next day we planned to go to both of his farms and see his operation and talk about what a business partnership between the two of us would look like. Getting to tour Santi's farm was honestly one of the coolest experiences in the history of our company. And just being there, surrounded by these crops and realizing this could be it. This could be the backbone of one of our biggest blends, a coffee that shows up in multiple spots on our menu. And not just any coffee, but one with a real personal story to us, and only one that we could tell. A coffee that we source directly, that we've seen, touched, and walked among. Our minds were spinning. We were dreaming about bringing future employees here, showing them where our coffee comes from, bringing wholesale partners, some of whom have been buying our coffee for years, and introducing them to Santi and his family. It felt like the possibilities were absolutely endless. And one of the biggest blessings is that Santi speaks great English. It made everything so much easier and so much deeper. We could walk through his whole farm with him, ask questions, understand his growing practices, and hear his story firsthand, which is something that we had been wanting to do this whole trip with the other producers who didn't speak English. Santi comes from the commodity coffee world, but he's making a shift into specialty. And that shift has a lot to do with his relationship with Lucas from Unblended. It was so cool to see how all the fermentation techniques from the boot camp the day before were sparking ideas for him. And the thought that we could be a part of that transition from commodity to specialty by buying his coffee and forming a direct relationship was just incredible. A relationship like that would be huge, not just for the marketing, storytelling, and connection, but for the stability of our coffee menu pricing. Instead of being at the mercy of the C market, where prices are constantly bouncing up and down, we could lock in a fixed price with Santi that works for him and works for us. It's partnerships like this that could make Valor a more resilient, more sustainable, and more connected than ever. And a side note, the man's farm is full of banana trees, which actually help the coffee grow. And I'm not even exaggerating, we ate more bananas that day than any other day of our lives.
What? No más. Anybody want a banana?
Me. Catch. Gracias, Santi.
Everybody show their banana.
Gladly.
Everyone pull your banana.
Show me your banana.
Banana. Banana.
The business of coffee is quite the puzzle. And like any good puzzle, it's made up of many pieces, each uniquely shaped, each playing its part. From the producer to the exporter and the importer, to the roaster, the wholesale partner, the cafe guest, each piece has a distinct form. Each holds a place in the greater picture. And it's only once all the pieces are in place that the full image comes into view. And for us at Valor, we've long understood our piece of the puzzle, our cafes, our green sourcing. We bring in coffee that meets our standards and speaks to our values. We roast it, we serve it in our cafes, send it to our wholesale partners across the country, and sell it in our cafes. That's our shape. That's what we do. But beyond our bubble, the roles of the other puzzle pieces were vague. We had a basic understanding. There's a farmer, a producer, an importer, but what exactly do they do? What does their side of the puzzle look like? And how does their reality shape the coffee that ends up at our warehouse? And that's where this trip came in. We've always wondered if a journey like this, overseas flights, travel costs, time away from families, would truly be worth it. But seriously, thanks to Lucas and the team at Unblended, it was more than worth it. He didn't just walk us through the farms. He helped us see. He helped us understand. He showed us what their puzzle piece looks like. Its curves, its edges, its challenges, its beauty. And more importantly, he showed us how it fits into ours. And as we began to understand their piece of the puzzle, ours began to take new shape too. And with that clarity, we could begin to dream bigger and to imagine how we might better serve the whole picture, not just our own corner of it. And that's where our creativity started to spark. That's when the collaboration actually can become real. And that's where the puzzle stops being a mystery and starts becoming a fuller picture.
We're doing it anyway.
I was brewing with
Salud.
Salud.
oh, it's not sugar.
No, it's actually just a really sweet.
Varietal.
It's actually really nice.
Whoa. Gracias.
Gracias, Leonardo.
Thank
you.
Nico.
Hey, I'm late for a meeting, huh?
I've been pretty up with
So there you have it, our first trip to Colombia, but definitely not our last. What started as an open-handed discovery trip turned into the start of something that we've always hungered for in our business: more direct relationships with producers and farmers. The business of coffee continues to be more fulfilling and exciting the longer we're in it. So be sure to subscribe to this channel as we press on towards our vision to match the top 1% of coffees in the world with the top 1% of hospitality.
¿Te gusta?
Sí.